Guys, this is James. Welcome to another Agile Sound Bites, where we explore bite-sized insights that will help on our Agile journey. So one of the big myths in Agile is that we don't plan. In fact, I would argue that we plan more in Agile than in other frameworks. But there is one key difference. That one key difference is that we don't think that we can do all the planning up front. We like to do just enough planning to get started. So start that learn by doing cycle, and then we'll continue to plan. So how do we approach planning from an Agile perspective? You know, if you ask people, a lot of the time the answer will be, well, I get together once every 2 weeks with my team and we work out what we think we can actually deliver. And that is actually part of the answer. But the full answer is that there's really multiple time horizons that we want to plan at. And if we don't plan at each of those levels, gaps can emerge, which can ultimately derail us down the track. So specifically, what are these levels? So there really is 5 levels that we plan. Sometimes it's referred to as the 5 rings of Agile planning. But at the top level, we've got the vision. The vision should be empowering. The vision should really be something we can strive towards. The vision should be something that's aspirational yet achievable. That, by definition, has a fairly long-term horizon. So how often do we plan the vision? Well, the answer is we probably come together every year to revisit that. But unless something major doesn't change, then typically it'll be fairly long-lived. But given that it is so large, we can't work on the vision straight away. So what we need to do is we need to break that vision down into a roadmap. And that roadmap is made up of a series of time boxes. Those time boxes can be 8, 10 or 12 weeks. From a safe perspective, we call that time box a program increment or a PI. And once we settle on that time box, whether it's the 8, 10 or 12 week cycle, we stick at it. In the same way as we don't vary sprint cadence. Once we establish it's 2 weeks, for example, we'll stick at that. So let's just say our PI cadence is 12 weeks. So our roadmap will show the current committed PI, and it will show the next 2 or 3 forecast PI. So generally that roadmap's going to look out a year. How often will we plan that roadmap? Well, even though it looks out a year, in actual fact, we'll update it every PI. So in that way, it's a rolling wave planning. We're always looking at a year, but we plan it each quarter. But the roadmap is made up of a series of PIs. So in regards to the PIs, we get all the folks that have a vested interest in the outcome of the solution will come together every 12 weeks, and they'll work out what they can deliver over that 12-week cycle. That level of planning needs to be more around making sure that we're aligned rather than a super detailed 12-week plan. But we want to do that each and every 12 weeks on cadence. And then what is the PI made up of? Well, ultimately it's made up of a series of 2-week sprints. So again, team comes together and plans each and every 2 weeks what they think they can deliver. And then the lowest level of planning is the daily stand-up. And there is a common misconception out there that the stand-up is a status meeting. But in fact, it's a planning meeting. It's an opportunity for the team to come together and say, here's where we're at. What do we need to do to make sure we can deliver on our sprint commitment, deliver on our sprint goals? Now, if you're working on a very large solution that happens to span more than 1 year, so it could be over multiple years, there is an extra level, making it 6 levels, that you might consider adding. So you'd break the vision, in that case, into what's called a solution roadmap, which would obviously be less granular because it's got that multi-year view. But then the solution roadmap would break down into the PI roadmap, would break down into the PI, would break down into the sprint, and ultimately into the daily stand-up. So all of these levels play really nicely together, and it's important that we have a regular cadence around how we come together so we can actually plan at those different levels. I hope you found this Agile Insights helpful. If you did, please click the like button below. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.